Deborah, wonderful to see you today.
It's
Happy,
great to see you too, Tony.
yeah, happy Saturday. Happy Saturday.
Thank you very much.
And so we're gonna have some great topics. It's wonderful to have friends like you and all the things that you've at least shared with me and taught others. And I feel really special to have you joining the Tech Talk Tony today.
Oh, shucks. Thanks.
Really appreciate it. Yep. And so it was great. Matter of fact, did we meet? We met before the Denver trip. Is that right? Is we met before the Denver trip?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think we actually met in Denver at
That's
the.
right. That's right. So a new friend, and I love that. I love having friends. So I appreciate you spending time with our audience today. By the way, Tech Talk Tony talks about a lot of different topics, including today, which I'm really excited to share, is going to be emotional intelligence, but from the perspective of how an emotional hijack can disrupt you, your team, and your customers with our expert, Deborah. Uh, Anything you'd like to share about, your job, what you do? I know you do stuff besides just joining me on Tech Talk Tony.
Really? I think I could do this all the time.
That's right. Thank you. I'm glad.
So, I obviously have a very strong IT background, and I've been working with HDI and one of their another organization since I want to say before I needed Botox, a very, very long time ago. And somewhere in there, I became the people person in the people, process, technology, and knowledge aspect. And I couldn't figure out, I think this started back in the 90s, the mid 90s, when I was teaching like customer service stuff.
Right.
We were teaching people how to look in the mirror on their monitor before they picked up the phone. And it,
Right. Right.
wait a minute, why are we talking about band-aids on a gaping wound? Why are the customers upset? Why are we responding to that upset? Why are we getting upset because of them?
Right. Right.
And that's when I took a deep, deep dive into that area of emotional intelligence, which was seen in early days as, oh, Deborah, she's the warm and fuzzy one. I'm like, no, baby, that has nothing to do with it. Warm and fuzzy doesn't even cut it.
Right.
Emotional intelligence is about the brain science of emotions and how those emotions show up in our behavior.
Right.
Sweet.
I love that. I love that our behavior. And I mean, one of the things that I've learned from you from, seeing the work that you do is it's really important to think about how things work in the brain, because people are thinking about things differently. And so this is just one of those great topics. So today I'm gonna grill you today. You're gonna
Okay.
have some really tough questions here, and hope you
It's
can
very
handle
fun.
it. Hope you can handle it. But we'll start out with um, really thinking from that perspective, how to manage your teams and your own emotional intelligence. Maybe we start from that standpoint.
Let's do that because
Okay.
we have the research that states that this is so interesting to me. And we've been talking about it since, funny enough, the day I met Kirk Weisler 20 something years ago,
Oh my
right?
gosh. Oh my gosh.
We were actually doing a keynote together, and he was doing it and then I was doing it. I think I followed him or I was in front of him. I can't remember.
Yeah.
However, this information we knew back then, and the research has just compiled over the years to say this is true. Here it
Right.
is. The customer experience is directly related to the employee's happiness. I did not say employee satisfaction, and I did not say employee engagement,
Right.
employee happiness. And
Happiness. Okay.
employee's happiness is directly associated with the emotional intelligence of the manager.
Right.
Now,
Right.
of course, that's not the ultimate driver, but it shows you the link. We know the statement, people rarely leave an organization. More than likely, they leave people. People leave
Right.
people, right?
Right.
So if the manager is having a tough time with their emotional intelligence, their self-awareness, the way that they view themselves, which is very different than the truth
Right.
of showing up, intention versus impact, then the employees are going to reflect that lack of emotional intelligence, and that is going to be seen and measurable in the customer experience area.
Okay. Okay, great. I think that's key. So we have to be, especially as managers, supervisors, any level where we're managing people, we have to be aware of our own self, right? We have to dig deep to understand, how we're feeling, and so we can then, do the right thing for the people we're managing.
Yes, well, think about this. We tout measuring things, right?
Right. That's
If you
right.
can't, and this is Lord Kelvin says this,
That's right. That's right.
can't manage, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it.
Right. Right.
So how do you know if you have low emotional intelligence besides the fact that your people are miserable and your customer experience is horrible?
Right. Right.
Haven't measured it, and we haven't measured it because I think most of us are afraid.
Mm. Right.
I don't want to know what's wrong with me.
Mm.
I don't know. I'm fine. Thank you very much.
Right.
However, nobody comes to the game fully formed, Tony.
Right.
Nobody.
Right.
And in our world, in the technology world, we're usually promoted because of what reason? Because we're good at our jobs.
Good at our jobs. That's right.
And then we become kindergarten teachers. And I'm saying that tongue in cheek, right?
That's right. That's
We have
right.
no idea how to manage people because we've been managing technology.
Right. Right.
And now I have all these people going, the air conditioner is too much over my head, and
That's right.
people making faces at me.
Right. Right. That's right.
And we're like, how did I get into this?
That's right. That's
But
right.
when nobody comes to the game fully formed, and we
Right.
have to identify where is it? There is an opportunity for me to grow, and where I grow, my people will grow.
Right. Right.
Right. And they will see the fruits of my growth
Yeah.
and hopefully adopt the fruits that they see.
Right. That's right.
Become so much kinder and so much more happy at work.
Right, right. That's amazing because one thing that you said is that people are sometimes afraid of what they don't know about themselves. And so that's 100, at least in my situation, I've already succumbed to the fact that I'm imperfect. And if you're going to love me and like me, you're going to have to know that I'm not perfect. And it is those, I teach my team, it is those imperfections that we all kind of accept in ourselves that make us great, and try not to strive to be perfect. But I remember there was this job that I was at. I was a senior director,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd been there for 5 years, and I was like, and I'd trained other VPs in this job. I mean, I really, I gave it my all. It was the only thing I did. Like now I do a lot of stuff, but it was the only thing I did. And there was a new HR person that came aboard, and the first thing she said to me was, "Hey, I think Tony, you should do a 365 test." Right? I think that's what's called, right? It's
360
360. I'm seeing, listen, I didn't pay attention enough.
all year long, 365 days.
360. Okay, good. That's right. Excellent. See, you're teaching me already. And so I actually left that job. I was like, listen, I don't listen. I've already shown in 5 years what I'm able to do. I don't want to have to come into this situation and now find out that this is how I thought, I have a fault. And then you're going to capitalize on that fault. And now, since then, that was 15 years or so ago, I've done these tests. And I'm like, wow, how enlightening they are. They
Yeah.
actually, they're not using it to do anything with it except for this self-awareness about things that maybe you can do something to improve. So I love what you shared there, especially for the audience to know that don't be afraid of it, but it definitely
Oh,
can seem scary if you're going to learn some things about yourself.
Absolutely. And that's where humility and growth come in, right? We can't be afraid to know because, geez, nobody's solid.
Right,
Everybody has foibles.
right,
The interesting part is once you know, you can grow.
right,
And
right,
it's all about growth. How would you know that this needed to be touched or that needed to be touched unless you know? And the really interesting thing about emotions are there's no good emotions and
right,
there's no bad emotions. Emotions are information, or in our world, emotions are data.
right, right.
So, how do I make data driven decisions
Hmm.
if I don't have the data
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
myself?
That's right. That's right.
So
That's right.
it's data. It tells, okay, should I move forward? Should I stand still or should I step back?
Right. Right.
What the data tells us.
Right.
So if in any kind of, I'm not going to say a leadership position
Right.
because I
Right.
don't believe that's a position.
Right.
All right. Management is a position. It's a
Right.
role that we get paid for. And anybody in a management position should do this for themselves and for the love of God for their people.
Were there people, right? I love that.
Oh my God.
That's right. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well,
Do it for other people,
do it for
please.
other people. That's right. Well, it took me till I was 50 to get to a place with humility. So listen, the time that you get there doesn't matter. Just getting there, I think, from what you said is important. So
You're absolutely right. It doesn't
that's
matter
awesome.
when you get there as long as you do get there.
That's right. That's right.